Coming up on Fulton Today, the county's new registration and elections director details what voters need to know about the municipal elections coming up in November. Also, Fulton's first responders welcome new firefighters and pay special tribute to their fallen Arizona comrades. Fulton Today is next.
From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shauna Chavis.
Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shauna Chavis. The Fulton County Registration and Elections Director is preparing for his first election here in the county. Now, though the registration deadline for the municipal elections in November is 2 months away, there are some things that voters can do right now to prepare to cast their ballot later. Richard Barron is leading the county's Registration and Elections Department. Sir, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shauna. Thanks for having me.
Well, we'll get into the upcoming elections in just a moment, but I understand you recently had a chance to sit down with the Secretary of State. How did that go?
It went well. It was cordial, and we need to develop a better relationship with the Secretary of State's office. So I was happy with the results, and I'm looking forward to speaking with him in the future.
Good to hear. And as we mentioned, you are gearing up for your first election here in the county. What are you doing to prepare?
We're already underway with looking at our election calendar, our drop dead dates, and doing some planning meetings. So we're well underway preparing for that election.
And so what do you plan to do differently?
We are going to roll out some different aspects of training. I think we've relied a little too much on online training in the past to be the primary vehicle to train the poll workers. So in the future, I'd like to do more hands-on training with the trainer. And I think we're going to also add some different aspects to training that'll involve some workbooks and some ways the poll workers can attest to us that they understand the material, to make sure that we're training them well and that they are ready to go out into the field, because they're our face to the public.
And Richard, what do you want to tell voters about what they can't expect for this election?
Fulton County voters can expect the Fulton County Registration and Elections Department to be ready for this election, to serve the voters in the way that they need to be serviced during an election. We also plan on having extended early voting hours so that voters have more chance to vote during the election. And I think that they will come to be proud of our department and the service we're going to provide the county.
And let me get your bottom line here.
Well, we're going to make changes slowly but surely. In a certain respect, we want to correct all the mistakes of the past and go forward into the future, but we can't reinvent the wheel all in one election when there's a limited amount of time to do so. So I'm going to do some incremental changes, and from there on, I think the voters are going to see more and more changes as we go.
All right, Richard Barron, the county's new Registration and Elections Director. Sir, good to see you again. Thank you for your time.
Thanks again for having me.
Again, the deadline to register for the November municipal election is October 7th. You can get more information about that process by calling the Office of Registration and Elections or on the Secretary of State's website. A very special group of residents volunteer their time to make a difference in the lives of abused and neglected children. A swearing-in ceremony was held for 12 court-appointed special advocates, or CASA volunteers. They pledged to work in the best interest of children involved in juvenile court proceedings.
The reason I got involved with the CASA program because I saw what the results were doing with the people who were consistent and serious about changing their lives and changing the lives of other people.
The new volunteers spend weeks in court-approved training to prepare to speak on behalf of at-risk children.
The reason I got involved with the program is because I was once a child that needed a voice. I was a troubled youth. I got in a lot of trouble as a teenager due to my family situation. And I told myself once I got out of that lifestyle that I would give back. And this is my way of giving back, speaking speaking up for a child that can't talk for themselves or feel as though no one listens to them.
There is always a need for volunteers. You can visit this website or call this number for more information. The Sheriff's Office celebrates the retirement of, get this, a 42-year veteran. Sergeant Carl Edward Sims was among the first African Americans hired by the Sheriff's Office in 1971. Back then, he was initially not allowed to drive county vehicles.
All the time that I had the pleasure to work with you, as many inmates, and those of you who are in the service, in the training division know this, as many inmates as you moved back and forth and took out on work detail, nobody ever left.
His first assignment was the Jefferson Street Jail during the term of Sheriff Ralph Grimes. In later years, he was instrumental in establishing and maintaining the training division and accreditation. Sergeant Sims served under 6 sheriffs during his more than 4 decades of service.
It's a legacy, plus his personality resulted in him working with others, and so young people coming along, they can identify with somebody like him, and he's been really helpful for us. And he's going to be somebody that no one will ever forget in the Sheriff's Office. And he's had an impact, you heard today, great impact on a lot of people, including myself.
Sergeant Sims was a valuable asset to the county, the community, and his family.
I definitely think that he made a lot of sacrifices because, I mean, it was probably one of a job that most, I guess, African Americans probably wouldn't want to go into, maybe, just because of the race stuff. And so I just think that he did a great thing going into it and stuck it out through everything, and I'm glad he did, and he made a lot of changes.
Sheriff Jackson reminded the sergeant that he's still a part of the organization and presented him a shadow box of his 42 years.
I'll be around to make a little noise.
The Board of Commissioners also honored Sergeant Sims' service with a proclamation. A new breed of first responders is now answering the calls for 911 in Fulton County.
I solemnly swear
12 recruits, including 4 women, were officially sworn in as the county's newest firefighters, and 1 veteran firefighter was promoted to lieutenant. These first responders were praised for their dedication and hard work.
these are exceptional people. Fulton County puts together one of the better training programs in the nation.
The class president echoed those sentiments.
Don't just do a good job, firefighter Goodman. Set out to do it so that nobody living, born, or dead could do it any better. And if it falls that you ought to be a firefighter, lieutenant, or captain, be sure to fight fire like Michelangelo painted pictures. Fight fire like Leontine Price sang before the Metropolitan Opera. Fight fire like Beethoven composed music. Fight fire like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Be sure to fight fire so well that the keepers of heaven and earth will have to stop and say, here lived a great firefighter who did their job well.
As a part of the ceremony, Fire Chief Larry Few dedicated the ceremony to the 19 Arizona firefighters who tragically lost their lives battling a wildfire last month.
We've thought that to dedicate this graduating class to the memory of the Prescott Fire Department's granite mounting hotshots was a fitting tribute to those that had given the ultimate sacrifice in trying to save lives and property. So we thought that the idea of memorializing what they had done through this plaque and presenting it to the department was a fitting tribute.
The fire department sent a plaque similar to the one given to the county's newest first responders to the firefighters in Arizona. Meanwhile, more than 24 students converge on FGTV to learn how to get information out to the public. Members of the District Attorney's Junior DA program took on the roles of FGTV's production crew, from anchors and reporters.
Welcome to News Update. I'm Xavier Gray.
And I'm Raven Cox. Reporting from the News Center, I'm Kai Thomas for FGTV.
To camera operators and technical staff. During the 4-week session, these students, clothed in their traditional blue blazers, are exposed to various careers within the criminal justice system.
I would recommend the Junior DA program for anybody because you learn a lot. It's a very fun experience. Not everybody gets to do this, so I think that's the great part of it.
Junior DA activities includes field trips to police departments and the state capitol. And the students also participate in a number of law-related activities. So how did they rate the FGTV visit?
I actually really enjoyed it because whether you're sitting on the anchor desk or behind the scenes, it's really just about having fun and really just learning about how a news studio goes on, and I really enjoyed it.
For more information on the Junior DA program, contact the District Attorney's Office. And still to come, a county commissioner picks up a national award for her work to promote healthy communities. We'll have the details and much more in our district-by-district coverage next.
You're watching Fulton Today.
A Fulton County Commissioner joins the First Lady's Let's Move campaign, and seniors learn how technology can help them ride MARTA. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage.
MARTA sponsors a training session for seniors in District 4. A MARTA representative shows seniors at the Dorothy C. Benson Senior Multipurpose Facility how to navigate the mass transit system, from purchasing a Breeze card to reading bus routes.
We have workshops like this so that we can take information out to our seniors to help them navigate through our system, to learn more about just taking the fear away, building their confidence.
Benson Center participants use MARTA frequently and enjoy the convenience of the service. The transit system continues to focus on safety and technology upgrades. Earlier this year, MARTA launched a mobile application that allows riders to send text messages and photos to MARTA police officers. The See and Say application can be downloaded from iTunes or the Android market. For more information, go to www.itsmarta.com. In District 5, seniors at the Harry G. Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility enjoy an evening of jazz in white. The entertainment program featured music from the Infinite Sound Band. The annual fundraiser for the Friends of Darnell Incorporated brought out participants of the center who were all decked out in their white attire.
A lot of the times, the participants cannot pay for different equipment for different classes, so we'll supply some of those things. We have a fabulous pool table that we paid for, different things like that.
The Friends of Darnell Incorporated organization supports programming at the Senior Multipurpose Facility. Money raised supplements the county's funding of the center. To learn more about the programs or the Friends of Darnell Incorporated, call 404-699-8580. In District 6, Commissioner Joan Garner gets an award for her work in First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties event in Washington, D.C. The Let's Move campaign highlights the childhood obesity epidemic in the U.S. Local leaders and their health professionals were recognized with awards for their contributions to this initiative.
This is quite an honor for the citizens of Fulton County because when you have healthy citizens and especially healthy young people, they grow up to be healthy, productive citizens. So it was quite an honor to be recognized in that way.
According to a National League of Cities, 200 cities, towns, and counties participated in the event. The NLC, along with other nonprofit organizations, encourages local elected officials to implement policy and environmental changes to prevent childhood obesity. And finally, in District 7, Commissioner William Bill Edwards congratulates Youth Enhancement Services as they celebrate 23 years of giving back to the community. The organization focuses on building the skills of at-risk youth and high school dropouts through programs like GED and academic tutorial sessions, along with workforce readiness training workshops.
These are essential programs for any youth who did not complete the traditional public school system, and it's really a comprehensive program model that focuses not only on education, but also employment and overall re-engaging with their communities.
According to the Youth Enhancement Services website, the group was founded in 1990 by Lula Gilliam in an effort to reach out to Metro Atlanta's juvenile crime problem. It has impacted more than 2,000 families. To find out more about the program, log on to www.yesgeorgia.org. With this week's district-by-district coverage, I'm Darrell Peak.
Thank you very much. Now, you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And up next, how to protect yourself from West Nile carrying mosquitoes. Stay with us.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Portions of the following segment are part of the Fulton County Common Ground Initiative. Common Ground, the county's comprehensive solution to the problem of health disparities in the community.
Well, the hunt is on for virus-carrying mosquitoes. It is West Nile season, everybody. It is the focus of this week's Common Ground report. Environmental Health Services Deputy Director Kevin Jones is here now with information on ways to keep us from getting this West Nile virus. Sir, it's good to see you again.
I'm glad to be back, Shauna. I'm always glad to be here to be able to give tips for prevention for West Nile virus.
Now, Kevin, we know that the virus is passed to humans from birds by way of mosquitoes. What kind of season are you expecting to see this year?
This season is probably going to be pretty hard for us. We've been getting a lot of rain, inordinate amount of rain. I believe we've got more rain in 6 months this year than we got all of last year. So that means we're going to have more places where water is going to be gathering. So I anticipate that we're probably going to have a pretty heavy mosquito season. That's why we want to just make sure that people are taking extra vigilance. We had a bad year last year, and last year was kind of dry. So you kind of imagine what kind of year we could possibly have this year.
And so what is the county doing in light of that forecast?
We have 30 testing sites located throughout the county from North, Central, and South Fulton. Those sites are routinely monitored where the actual mosquitoes are pulled off of the testing apparatus. They're sent to a lab in Virginia for testing. If we get positive West Nile virus samples, it's also sent to the University of Georgia School of Veterinary Medicine for confirmation. Once we get confirmation, we're going to take a half-mile radius around that positive mosquito testing site, and we're going to deliver information to each and every door or each and every residence within that particular half-mile radius.
And are there other preventative measures that we should know about?
We're larviciding all catch basins within a particular complaint area or in a hot spot. We're going to larvicide about 15,000 catch basins or storm sewers throughout Fulton County. And when I say larvicide, that means we're actually killing the mosquitoes in the larval stage of development. There are 4 stages of development. The first stage is the egg, the second is the larval, the third is the pupa, and the fourth is the actual adult mosquito. We're actually trying to prevent the growth of that adult mosquito.
And Kevin, what are some of the best ways to protect ourselves from mosquito bites?
Personal protection, wear long sleeves or long pants when you're going outside during those active mosquito season, parts of the season. Also, too, you want to wear some type of insect repellent that has the active ingredient of DEET in it. Make sure that you're actually reading the label, because some insect repellents are prohibited for use by kids up under a certain age. So you want to make sure that you're doing your reading and that you're doing your proper research. You do not want to put repellent on very small kids without taking the proper precautions.
And finally, Kevin, talk about protecting our homes.
You want to look at draining any water holding type items on your property. It can be your saucers in the bottom of your pots. It can even be your gutters. You want to make sure your gutters are sloping to drain. You want to make sure that anything on your property, like I said, is not going to be holding water.
All right, Kevin Jones with Environmental Health Services. Great information as always. Thank you for the update this year, and keep us posted.
And thanks again for having me, Sonia.
Now, all right, now here's a summary of the 5 Ds of protection that Kevin discussed. Remember, dusk to dawn, that's when they bite. Dress. Keep skin covered with long-sleeved shirts and pants during peak hours of mosquito activity. DEET. Cover exposed skin with repellent containing DEET. Drain any standing water. Doors. Keep doors, windows, and screens tightly fitted. You can contact Environmental Health Services at 404-613-1301, or you can find them on the Health Services website at fultoncountygahealth.org to have any of your questions answered. Well, this week marks the 5th annual observance of World Hepatitis Day. The goal is to help everyone learn more about people living with hepatitis and remove the stigma associated with the illness. Hepatitis is a virus that in varying degrees affects your liver's ability to function. Hepatitis C, considered the most serious of the hepatitis viruses, is passed through contaminated blood. That most often occurs when needles are shared during illegal drug use. The symptoms of hepatitis C sometimes don't show up for decades.
The symptoms of hepatitis when people first get it is usually weakness, feeling very tired, sometimes low-grade fever, and in extreme cases, people will notice that they get yellow, particularly in the whites of their eyes. They'll turn yellow. But for many people, particularly the most common form of hepatitis, which is hepatitis C, there's very little symptoms at all. People frequently don't even know they've had the infection. 2 new medications have just become available which result in cure rates for hepatitis C of up to 80%. So it's very important that people go out and get tested, and the CDC recommendations are that everyone between the ages of 67 and 47, born between 1945 and 1965, get tested for hepatitis C.
Now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates 75% of the 5 million people in the U.S. who have chronic hepatitis don't even know it. You can contact Fulton County Health Services if you are in a high-risk group and you want to be tested. World Hepatitis Day, by the way, July 28th. Medical experts say one of the healthiest things a smoker can do is quit, and there is help to make it happen. Fulton Employees Wellness Committee, in partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia, held a workshop in the Government Center atrium to introduce smokers to information and products that can help them quit. Their theme, "Quitting is hard, but help is here," enticed visitors and employees to take a look.
The goal is really to offer people the opportunity to see that they can make a positive change in their life. So if they've had a habit like smoking that they've had for either a short period of time or a long period of time in their life, that they can make a change that will result in better health and a better feeling of well-being.
What I learned was, in each of those spheres, I learned to identify my triggers and what would make me want a cigarette. And I tried to avoid those people, places, and things that would trigger the desire for something that was unhealthy for me.
Doctors say quitting smoking is the single most important step you can take to improve your health.
What really helps people quit is support. Family support, knowing that you care, providing the resources and the tools that people need, that's key. So if you don't have those resources and tools, then it's hard for people to really quit. And then having information, knowing where to go. And we really want to thank Blue Cross Blue Shield for providing those resources and tools for Fulton County employees.
Programs are available through Fulton County Health Services. Again, that main number is 404-612-1211, and the web address is fultoncountygahealth.org. And still to come, the National Black Arts Festival hits the road with its family book fair. Details when we come back.
You're watching Fulton Today.
A North Fulton community gets set to welcome a new library. The public is invited to attend the East Roswell groundbreaking ceremony on August 1st. The library will be located off of Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. This is the second groundbreaking to take place since voters in 2008 overwhelmingly approved the library bond referendum. Now those same residents can see their votes come to fruition when they attend the groundbreaking.
The feedback that I'm getting from the people who voted for the library bond referendum is that they're very excited to attend the groundbreaking. First, because this is something they've long wanted, a library in this community, and to see it almost coming to fruition, to see the building begin is such an exciting time, and we would love for them to come and celebrate that moment with us.
The East Roswell branch is expected to open in late 2014. Again, that library groundbreaking is Thursday, August 1st at 11 a.m. Residents who plan to attend should park at the East Roswell Park and then take the shuttle over to the groundbreaking ceremony. For more information or to RSVP, call 404-730-1972 or email Laura Wright. Information about the library building program is available on afbls.org. The ever-popular National Black Arts Festival Book Fair has taken its act on the road. The traveling fair made a stop at the OC Library. Now, when book lovers attend the fairs, they can stay close to home and catch the tales told by Kuumba storytellers.
We like to see the oral tradition carried on because that involves the people, it's more personal. So we believe that the storytelling encourages children to enjoy words and want to learn to read, to use those words, but it also just helps to spark the imagination.
Children get to take home a free book after the fair. You can check out more NBAF family book fairs happening in the county this week and next when you visit the website on your screen and search Book Fair. The NBAF is one of the largest cultural events in the United States. It is funded in part by Fulton County government. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you about the stories and programs right here on FGTV. Go to our website to take a survey, or you can email or call us. The number 404-612-8317. The email address is fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also follow us on twitter.com/FGTV, friend us on Facebook, and watch us on YouTube. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shauna Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.